Hey, this is Hannah Blue and this is our next video.
We know we put on our little profile thing that...
Our bulletin.
Yeah, our bulletin. That we would be actually uploading the Zabuza saga next. But we've actually had a bit of an issue with that. In the form of, I actually had to have eye surgery. And I can't actually look at the screen enough to do all of the animations. Now, the saga will come out. I can't say when. We'll sort of do our best to sort of get it done, but we just can't say when for sure, because I only be told by eye people when I can actually look at screens again. So that's okay. So basically this next video is what makes an anime good and what makes it bad. So the first thing we came up with was animation.
It's better when the animation is smoother and it's easier to watch that way.
Yeah, because when it's all like, when it's nasty,
Nasty.
when it's nasty,
Nasty.
it's just not as good, because you spend most of your time thinking, well, this is rubbish, because of the bad animation. I mean, when it's bad, it looks sloppy and the characters look different, especially in fillers, which you all would have to have been forced to watch at one point. And it's, like I said, it's difficult to remain interested in the storyline when it looks stupid.
And also, when you get like the sloppy animation, it makes it seem like the animators didn't give a crap what they were doing. They just did it and made it look horrible.
Yeah, but it's like when it's good, each little shot has been done like a little piece of artwork and it's had loads of care put into it. Okay, one of the most obvious ones about what makes an anime good, bad, is the storyline.
I was watching an episode of
Flame of Recca.
Flame of Recca, and I just sat. I think it was the first 5 minutes of it, and it was just Naruto.
It is Naruto.
And
or rather, Naruto is Flame of Recca, because Flame of Recca is a couple years older.
Flame of Recca was made before it.
But it is exactly the same. It's got the hand signs, the Hokage, except it's in a different context.
Yeah, and he
ninjas.
And
almost exact same personalities.
The main character was running away, just like
the first
Naruto was running away.
Prologue at the start, then straight into storyline with character anyway. It was quite shocking, really. But then obviously there are lots of bits that Naruto copied out of other mangas, but the same as other anime does too.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what makes an anime bad is obviously when it's not original, because sometimes it must just seem like you're watching the exact same anime over and over again. And you get this with genres. Vampire animes are exactly the same as each other. It's like, because in anime it's always high school vampires with vampire romance, and it's just like, oh gosh, shut up. I have to admit, Blood Plus is a bit different, and Hellsing is a bit different, but some of the rest of them, like Vampire Night, oh god, I know that's quite popular, but I just watched it and thought, oh god, how boring. It's so similar to, like, not even other animes, it's similar to just other stories as well, and cartoons, and sometimes you just think, oh, go write something else. And also, what I think makes a storyline bad in anime is when it's got too many side plots. I mean, I know a lot of people like it, but with Bleach, and Hannah, you're going to kill me here because I know you like it, but I sometimes thought that you had, like, especially when they were rescuing Rukia, there was so many things going on at once, like what each individual character was doing, and you could actually hardly get through. I think that's why it took so long, because you couldn't get through very much of the character's storyline because you were concentrating on everyone else's storyline at the same time. And sometimes it's like you just want to concentrate on the main character and what they're doing, even though a lot of the time, like, I know this is an anime, but in Lord of the Rings, nobody cares about what Frodo and Sam are doing. You just want to know what Legolas, Aragorn and Gimli are doing, because it's just more interesting.
But in some animes, like you just want to find out what the main character's doing. Sometimes what the main character doing is boring.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this just because you said it was just Bleach, but in other animes as well, when it just shows the main character all the time, you just want to see something else.
Like, I know, like, if I'm watching something like Ouran High School Host Club, I don't really care what Haruhi's doing. I think she's boring. But I'd much rather know what Tamaki's doing.
Or the twins.
Or, yeah, the twins. So it's like, yeah. But anyway, what makes a storyline good? Obviously, when it's original. Next, characters. One of the most important aspects of the anime, obviously. And the only sort of thing you can say that what makes characters good is just if they're well thought up. That's all it needs, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, what would you say? I mean, what do you think makes it like a good, well thought up character?
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
Fair enough. Well, yeah, a good character that's not a Mary Sue, Gary, Stu, but you actually did an interesting experiment, didn't you, Hannah?
About I don't know, 10 minutes ago, I went on the litmus test, official Mary Sue, Gary, Stu test.
It's what you test your characters on,
yeah.
See if they're
and I did it on Naruto. Okay, I'll put up now the picture of the score that Naruto got. But he was just totally a Gary Stu. Just straight away, you could tell by the amount he'd already got that he was one already.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, it is getting hard now to actually make a character that is not, in some aspect, a Mary Sue, Gary Stu, because I mean, I remember looking at like reviews of the litmus test, and somebody put, in order for your character not to be like a Mary Sue, Gary Stu, they would never have to have seen daylight, live in a hole in the ground, be hideously ugly, and not have any kind of talent whatsoever, which at the same time would therefore make it impossible not to have a storyline about them.
But the litmus test doesn't say that you are one, it just says it has a few traits, because normal people have a few traits, but it doesn't say, oh, you're definitely one because you've got one trait, do it all again. It doesn't say stuff like that.
True. Also, what I think makes a sort of like anime bad in the character term is when there's too many characters.
Yeah, there's just some animes and they just keep adding and adding and adding.
And
or there's already too many characters already and if we don't know enough about them.
It's like, I don't think you can bring in a character into an already well-established anime and then make them very good, if you get me. It's just sort of like, at this point you've become attached to the characters that are already in it, and you don't really want to have to sort of deal with other characters as well. I mean, obviously it needs more than one character. I'm not saying that all that having like lots of characters is bad, but it's just when there's too many. Anyway, we've dwelt a lot on characters, but I've just got one more point, and that's in the bad characters bit. You get the annoying female character in every single manga / anime.
It's not just in it's not just one. There's always more than one.
Yeah.
It's
like I said in Ouran High School Club, there's Renge.
And
there's
then
Sakura,
all the fangirls.
There's the cross twin in Lucky Star, whose names I can never remember. There's Tifa and Aerith in
I like Tifa.
I don't mind. I hate Aerith though. It's just shut up. But I find Tifa annoying. Like, I mean, I've said I'm my least favourite character, so you know what I think about Tifa. But what else is there? There's Kyoko in Heat Guy J, and they've all got the same personality as well. They're always really up themselves. Either think they're really pretty or not pretty enough. They're always kind of bratty as well, and they won't shut up. And they always constantly go after the guy, and you just think, I want to hear a different storyline. I don't want to hear about you constantly going after the guy. I don't care if you get the guy or not. That's not what makes it interesting for me. I mean, it might for somebody else, but I don't find romance storylines for characters good. I think it unless it's obviously a romance anime.
Yeah.
It clouds like other storylines. I suppose I'm getting into storylines again, but yeah, annoying female characters.